No one abandoned you. Life tore you away from where you no longer belonged. And right now, I know it. You feel like you lost everything. Time, opportunities, people, direction. You look inside yourself and all you see is ruins. But listen carefully for the next few seconds. Because this could change the way you understand your pain. You are not being destroyed. You are being separated from a false version of yourself. What you call failure today could be the beginning of the greatest rise of your life. Stay until the end, because you'll understand why some people break forever, while others return as something impossible to stop. For weeks, maybe months.
You've been living with a silent pressure in your chest. That feeling of free fall. As if everything moved except you. As if the train left and you were stranded alone on the platform. And then the mental torture begins. I should have done it sooner. I should have been smarter. I should have reacted. Everyone is moving forward except me. You watch others build, laugh, grow, and you wonder why collapse chose you. But that's the mistake. You think you're suffering because you lost something valuable. No, you are suffering because an identity that could no longer hold itself together is falling apart. Most people never understand this. They confuse the end of a false chapter with the end of their entire life. And that is why they sink. Because when the ego loses its masks, it interprets the scene as death. But what dies is not you. The character dies. The version built to please dies. The obedient version, the version that smiled while emptying itself inside. The version that said yes just to avoid being alone. For years you built a life with borrowed materials, goals that were never truly yours, routines you hated, relationships where you dimmed yourself to avoid making others uncomfortable, successes that filled nothing. From the outside it looked stable. Inside, you were betraying yourself. And when a person betrays themselves for too long, life intervenes. Sometimes in the form of loss, sometimes in the form of heartbreak, sometimes in the form of anxiety, sometimes in the form of total emptiness. It is not always punishment. Many times, it is correction. Carl Jung understood something most people never do. Inside you exists a part deeper than your fear, wiser than your mind, greater than your social mask. A force that does not want comfort. It wants truth. And when you spend too long living small, that force begins to break what is false. That is why certain doors closed. That is why certain people disappeared. That is why what once worked stopped working. It was not bad luck. It was incompatibility between who you were and who you are destined to become. Of course it hurts, because losing a comfortable lie hurts more than facing an uncomfortable truth. Then you reach the dark point, that moment where you no longer know who you are, where you do not want to go back, but you cannot yet see forward. You wake up in the middle of the night thinking about old mistakes. You replay conversations. You imagine catastrophic futures. You feel shame for things already over, and you ask yourself, what is happening to me? Something rare in this world is happening to you. You are waking up. Society taught you to run from any sadness. If you feel bad, distract yourself. If it hurts, numb it. If it feels empty, replace it. If you cry, hide it. So most people run straight into rebound mode. Another relationship, another addiction, another soulless job, another new mask. They do not heal. They simply restart on another level of lies. And they spend years living on autopilot, almost changing, almost waking up, almost living. But you are here. And that means something, because a part of you no longer accepts going back to sleep, even exhausted. You keep searching for answers, even in pain. You keep looking inward, even afraid. You have not fully run away. That already separates you from many. Now comes the second phase. Clarity. It happens slowly. One day you wake up, and something changed. Not everything, but something. You begin to see patterns you once ignored. You understand why you repeated certain relationships. You discover you were seeking approval from empty people. You notice you worked for validation, not purpose, and most powerfully, you begin to hear your intuition again. You no longer need so many outside opinions. Not every piece of advice confuses you anymore. Transformation. They go back to the ex. They go back to the job that drained them. They go back to the smaller version of themselves. Why? Because the new is terrifying. Freedom demands responsibility. Truth demands courage. And becoming great scares people more than failure. If you go backward out of fear, you will repeat the cycle. Life will push you again. Only next time, with more force. That is why this emptiness is not meant to be filled quickly. It is meant to be used well. It is clean space. It is fertile ground. It is silence before rebirth. Stay in this process long enough, and the final phase arrives. The return, but not as you were. Better, stronger, simpler, more dangerous in the right way. Because now you no longer react to everything. You no longer beg for attention. You no longer chase people who do not value you. You no longer sell yourself cheap just for company. Something inside you straightened itself out. And when that happens, reality responds. The strange coincidences begin. The right phone call. The unexpected opportunity. The idea that appears from nowhere. The aligned person who arrives without being chased. It is not magic. It is coherence. When you stop operating from lack, you make better decisions. And better decisions look like miracles to those still asleep. What comes after this will be different. Work will not be only money. It will be expression. Love will not be an emotional patch. It will be connection. Discipline will not be punishment. It will be self-respect. And you will change outwardly too. You will walk into places with a different presence. Not because you speak louder, because you no longer need to prove so much. There is a silent authority in someone who survived themselves. People feel it. They cannot explain it, but they feel it. Now understand this. You did not lose your opportunity. You lost a limited version of it. You did not fall behind. You were removed from the wrong path. You are not late. You are maturing. And that takes longer, but lasts longer too. So stop crying over the life that collapsed. It was probably a decorated prison. And stop envying other people's journeys. Many smile outside while rotting inside. At least your pain is being honest. That is worth more than 1,000 appearances. Today, you only need one decision. Do not look back romantically. Do not run toward cheap noise. Do not negotiate your truth again. Because after this chaos comes a version of you that will be grateful for everything you do not understand today. One day you will look back at this collapse and call it the beginning. And when that happens, you will understand something brutal. You are not losing everything. You are being returned to yourself. If you made it this far, write in the comments, I return stronger. Because some collapses are not punishments. They are coronations.